Right, anyway, enough talking, shall we? Let's crack on. So this evening we're going to be making this. So this is using a mixture of things. I haven't stuck to a sweet or anything here. So we've got the Brightly Gleaming Specialty Designer Series Paper. So you'll see it's got a bit of a copper foil there. I've gone for the copper ribbon as well. Now this was part of the autumn bundle in the winter catalogue, in the winter mini. Then I've gone for the wrapped in Christmas stamp set, and then I've gone for the star design elements. So this project has the ribbon acts as a bit of a belly band, and then inside is a selection of chocolate. So one of my most favourite things when I was little, aside from the actual presents, was I always got a selection box off pretty much everyone. I'd end up with about 9 or 10 of them every Christmas, because when you get to a certain age, it's let them have a selection box and XYZ as stocking stuffers. And yeah, so a selection box is one of them. And my inspiration came from Amazon, actually. I know, a very odd place to get inspiration, but this was on the, when was it now? A few weeks ago, there was an Amazon event and lots of stuff was discounted, a bit like a Black Friday. And this big box of biscuits caught my eye, and that's where the inspiration came from. As you can see, you get 70, you get 5 different versions, 5 different Nestle chocolate bars. And yeah, it wasn't too pricey either. So I thought, for my team at my day job, these could make great little gifts that I can send in the post to them, as of course this year we won't be in the office with one another, and so my usual table gift to them will be a little more difficult. Right, so I'll crack on with the project. There's not too many supplies that you need. So we need a piece of, I've gone for Night of Navy because I've gone for a navy pattern again. And so this Night of Navy piece measures 7.5 inches by 5 3/4. You then need your chosen pattern of Designer Series paper. So this is from that Brightly Gleaming. I used this a few weeks ago in a giant box, and I love this pattern, so I'm using an offcut of that. So this is 5.5 by 3 3/4, which means that you should be able to 6 of those from a single sheet of 12 by 12, and you can get 2 of those, which forms the lid, from a single sheet of A4. So good on the old supply front. And then you need 4 pieces of, I'm using thick Whisper White tonight. You can also use the thick Very Vanilla. You must always use a thicker one, as once you put the weight of the chocolate in, I found that normal cardstock buckles just a little bit. So these measure 3 1/8 by 5 5/8. So I've got 4 of those. And then, because these are more, some of the other patterns have got vanilla in them, I've got a piece of vanilla that's 2 by 3, and that's just for the tag that we're going to pop on the front. So I'll grab my scoreboard and we'll do the lid and the base. So I have, I don't know whether it was silly of me or not, but I showed these to a work colleague, and now I've got to make about 75 of these for the whole of the teams at work. On commission, of course, but now I've got to find time to do that between everything else that we do around this time of year. Right, okay, I'm waffling. So, your 4 pieces that will make, so I'll show you the bottom again. So you can see this is 4 separate little boxes that we then join together. So if I show you from the underneath, you can see it better there, in that they are 4 separate pieces. So I've not made one piece and then put separation elements in, they're 4 separates. So it means it's very, very easy to adapt. If you had maybe a 4-finger Kit Kat, you might do this second box as a bit wider, and these shorter, you might want to put another longer box on this end and, you know, adapt and build around it. But I just went for this easy 4 same size compartments, one in a line after the other. Okay, so on these small pieces, you want to score each of these at 7/8 of an inch on all 4 sides. And it's very easy, 7/8 all 4 sides, and that is for both these bottom pieces and for the lid. So it is literally one measurement for all 5 pieces, which I love because I sometimes even trip over my own measurements and end up scoring where I shouldn't score. As people who join me every Friday will have seen the amount of times I've had to hide a wrong score or start again. I don't count how many times I've done it, so I'm concentrating now. Trying not to talk so much. Here we go. So this is the 4th piece from the bottom. So that's all 4 bottom pieces, and then we're going to do the same with the lid as well. So again, 7/8 on all 4 sides. Now you could reinforce the lid by adding, what will you need to add? Another 3/4 of a, is it another 3/4? Another 1 3/4 inches onto the width and length, and then you get 2 7/8 and fold them over into one another to reinforce that edge. But because we've got thick whisper white underneath and they're slotting onto each other, I didn't bother on this occasion. Okay, so I'll put the lid to one side. We'll do our base pieces first. So I'm just going to grab my bone folder. I'm going to just fold and burnish all of those pieces. Now you could make this look a little more interesting on the inside. So as you can see, if I tip my chocolates out there, it's all just very plain. But you could stamp the inside, you could put DSP on the inside, you could do whatever you want. I kept it very plain, as I will be making another 70 plus of these, and so it's just one less stage for me to do when we're doing the production line, as I like to call it. So if I was showing you how I make these en masse, I would literally get all my thick cardstock first, all cut, scored and burnished, etc. And then I'd bring all the bases together, and then I would do all the lids, then the DSP, then the tags, and so on. I wouldn't make one box up fully and then come back to the others. Have I done that one? Yeah, okay. So we'll cut these. Where's my snips? So love these scissors for these little tabs. I've had about 5 pairs of these. They must be that good because they keep disappearing and some scissor gremlins keep running off with them. So because this side piece here is so skinny, if I cut the tabs to stick there, they're gonna clip one another and get in the way. So I'm going to cut my tabs from the long side up so that when we then fold them, they come into the long side and we can still use the full tab without doing any extra trimming down. So straight up that side line there, and the same at the other end, and that just frees those tabs. And then we're going to notch ever so slightly on each side, like so. And then we're going to flip it round and we're going to do the same on the opposite end. And then that's the same for all 4 base pieces. So I am loving the combination of navy and copper, and also Pretty Peacock and copper. What are your favourite Christmas colour combinations, because I've seen projects out there that people like to sway off the traditional like reds and greens. I like purples as well at Christmas, purples and golds. What about yourselves? Are we liking the Snowflake Splendour kind of colour theme, which is, it's more like your lilacs and your light blues in there. Get these done quickly, then you're not spending all your time watching me cutting out. So as Halsey mentioned in the comments, this weekend is a Stampin' Up event for demonstrators, and we've done the recognition evening, and then we've done a full day today, which was really good actually. We got to see some upcoming stuff. I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry about switching off. I'm not one of those. But I am really excited about some of the stuff that's in the mini catalogue that's coming up for January to June. There's some really amazing stamp sets in there. There's some new products in terms of tools and so on. And I will be honest, I've written down my list already and it's several pages. So I'll have to limit that down a little bit to my absolute favourites first. But it's gorgeous stuff, and some of the demonstrations we saw today were really nice. The only thing I don't like about this year's event is that we haven't been able to all meet up in person, which is usually one of maybe 2 events a year that I get to see all my demonstrator buddies. And I think we're all missing that really. Don't know about yourselves. I think it'll be a bit overwhelming when we can all eventually meet up properly, and those who like hugging, hug one another. I say that because I'm not a massive advocate of hugging. That makes me sound really cold, doesn't it? Right, that's the bottoms done. So we'll build these up. So I'm going to use Tombow for this, so good old multi-purpose liquid glue. And look, any crafter will understand how that got there. So good old dimensional stuck to the side of the bottle. Not a dimensional, sorry, a rhinestone. Although it wouldn't have surprised me if it was a dimensional either. So a little bit of glue into 4 corners there. And then make those meet and bring them up to form the box. And by using the liquid glue, the best bit about it is if you don't quite get it right, you've got a bit of wiggle room to make it meet. There we go. Please excuse my nail varnish that's all chipping off. This is what happens when you have to resort to doing your own nails during lockdown and so on. I am not the best. I tried getting my 13-year-old daughter to do my nails for me, and no, she's no better either. So there we go, there's the first one. So I'll just show you what we've got here. This is a Yorkie biscuit. Now, there ain't many of these left because these are my favourite, but shh. It isn't me who's eating them all. I'm sure the kids have found my stash, but there you go, see, they fit perfectly in there. We'll do the others. Again, just a Tombow in the corner there. And I like to glue all 4 corners and then just bring them all up at once. Like so. Evening, Debs. Now, Deb's got a warning I was going live, and she's still late. I do my nails. Not normally, but that's what I'm saying. Outside of lockdown, I would get a professional to do my nails. This is what happens when you don't get a professional to do your nails. It's either this or I have them completely naked, and I got very bored of that. Right, so that's 2. So you could, if I was doing this, I would get all the pieces cut and scored, and then the actual cutting of the tabs and gluing, I would just take enough glue and scissors down in front of the TV, away from my craft room, get all nice comfy in front of, I don't know, a box set or something. I'm re-watching a couple of box sets at the moment. So I could get in front of those. I am contemplating re-watching Sons of Anarchy after a few people I know have been watching it themselves. I watched it several years ago and I haven't re-watched it since. Naked nail crafting. That could be a name, couldn't it? We won't go for Hullahbaloo, we'll just go for naked nail crafting. Right, last one. There we go, all 4 corners, and bring these together. Now, I can tell by watching back my own video in front of me that there is a huge delay. We've been messing with the placement of the router in the house, and it would seem that the Wi-Fi up to my bedroom isn't as good as it was. Don't worry, I am rectifying it, so I won't be so behind on your comments, hopefully the next time we go live. Right, so that's the last one done. Just press that tab in. So we've got all 4 together. Take that out a moment, and then all we're going to do now is pop a bit of Tombow down the side of the boxes we've made, like so, and then I just put them flat and align the bottoms up to each other like so, and then I just press them together. And as I said before, the dream that is Tombow gives you that room, so that if you think you're not quite lined up, you can got that wiggle room to save the project without having a wonky box. And then same again, and then while that one's sticking, and then the last one all together like so. Stick those, make sure they're stuck. Right, there we go, that's our base. So I'm just going to let that dry while we do the lid. So the lid, again, we're building this in the same way. So we'll fold and burnish these edges. And then again, I'm just going to cut these tabs in the same way so that we can build the lid around the base we've made ourselves. I did contemplate putting the 4 sections into a base plate, so that there would be something like that and then a lid on top as well. I mean, that's still an option, you can still do that. Because I'm going to be making these on a larger scale, I didn't want to include too many steps in the process. You don't want to, when you're making something so big, you don't want to go overboard on the steps that you need to complete a project. Like so. Like so. Right, it's all good. So we'll bring glue on these 4, same as we did for the base boxes. And then I like to build it around the box, so I'll keep those up so they don't stick to my grid paper. So you bring the end up, bring the tab in, and then bring the side to meet it. Same on this side. Bring that in, bring up the tab to meet it, like so. Just hold that for a second, make sure the glue sticks. And then same at the other end, except you're going to have to try and bring both up at once. And then stick. And then stick. So now we know that lid fits perfectly on. Like so. There we are. Right, so we've got our box template itself. We've got the base. So I'm going to put my chocolate in now because we're going to do the ribbon as well at the same time. So good old Yorkie, a Kit Kat. So the good thing about all these is that they do all fit in these. Some might be a tiny bit smaller, like the Toffee Crisp one there, but it means that I can mix and match them and it doesn't matter. So on that goes. So I've got my DSP here. So as a reminder, this is 5.5 by 3 3/4, and I'm just going to use Tombow again, seeing as I've got it out. And this is just going straight on the top there. Like so. I'm just going to centre that off. There we go, can pop that away now. Okay, so this is the tag that we've got on the other one, so we're going to make this ready for the ribbon to go around. I've got a piece of vanilla that's 2 by 3, like so. And then I've got the delightful tag topper. So as you'll see by this piece here, it gives it a nice, I call it clouds. It's like when you draw clouds as a child and you give it all those lumps and bumps. Probably a bit of a silly image, but there we go. So underneath, make sure your piece is straight, and I don't push it right to the end. I like to just line it up till it's just beyond the point of where it's going to cut through, like so. Flick the offcut into your face, but you're left with a lovely tag. Okay, matching Night of Navy ink. Scalloped edge, yeah, we could go with scallop. There's a few with a bit of a scallop edge. So I'd describe this one more of like a child when they draw a cloud. Okay, so stamp set that we're using this evening is the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. So just a quick reminder, it is now the last few days in which you can go on my website and grab the Wrapped in Christmas project kit. So that includes this stamp set, but it includes the 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper and other bits and pieces to make 4 exclusive cards, 4 projects, and then have lots of leftover for you to play with. If you want any more detail on those kits, go over to hullahbaloo.com/project kits and you'll see all the information there. The stamp that we're using out of this evening though is this one. So this is the Let the Joy of the Season Fill Your Heart, which is that one there. And then the block size I'm using tonight is D. So I do need to kind of get this straight, seeing as I've already cut my card to size. There we go. So ink that up, and then as central as you can, and hopefully as straight. That'll do me. Right, pop this away, as blue is not easy to wash off your skin. There we go. Okay. So the ribbon I'm using, and I'm hoping I've got enough. Can I get round a couple of times with what I've got left? I can go around once. We'll go around once with this. As look, it's literally the last of my ribbon. I'd say I don't know what I've used it on, but then I looked at my project shelf behind me and I've used it on practically everything. I do really like it. So, see how many times we can get around. Can we get? No, we can't get around, so we'll just go around the once. So what I do is I bring it into a knot. Let's get a bit more even with that, shall we? That's better. So tie that into a knot. She says, sounds easier than it is. There we go. And then I bring these 2 pieces up together and I thread them through the tag. And then once they're through the tag, you can start positioning where you want it to be. So I'm going to go with there. And then I'm just going to tie a bow, one of my upside down bows. And I love this ribbon. I love ribbons that are a little bit more robust. They're not the like sheer ribbons, or they've got a bit of strength to them, a bit more where you can manipulate them a bit easier. Oh, I'm liking that bow actually. Look at that. That loop would just straighten out for me. Looks like I went and twisted it. That'll do. Right, so we'll just trim those. Like so. And then to finish it off, I'm using these. So these were in the winter catalogue last year, and these are now in the annual catalogue this year. They carried over. And I always go by the rule of, if you don't use 1, you got to use 3. You always go in odd numbers. So we'll pop 1 there. Pop 1 over the side, and then pop 1 at the top there. Like so. So I'll bring the other one back in. This was the other one. I'll pop our lid on that one. And where's my ribbon gone? It's here. So this one, as you'll see, goes round a couple more times. because I had the ribbon to do that for this one. So let's just bring that together. And then I made them crossover because I like that. So there we go. 2 different selection boxes. That's 2 out of the, I think it's 75 that I will be making this year. I'm not promising the chocolate inside will survive, but it's all with good intentions. So the projects that you've seen this evening, or should I say the products made, used to make this project, can't speak, will all be available on my online store. So you can go to hullahbaloo.com/shop and that will take you straight onto my Stampin' Up store. Tomorrow morning there will be a blog post where I list all the products, so if you're not quite sure the names of these or you've missed noting them down, you can play back the video, which will be live as soon as I end this video this evening, or it will be loaded up onto YouTube tomorrow morning with all the details in a blog to show you what I've used. If you've got any questions, drop me a message, and I will now be back every Friday at 7:30 as promised, and I apologise for skipping last week. But yeah, that forms one part of the boxes that I will be sending to my team. You'll have seen this that we made a couple of weeks ago, so we'll be getting both of those and something else which I haven't quite worked out what yet. Right, okay, thanks everybody for watching this evening. I will see you all next week. Stay safe. Bye.